Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at my made simple guide for Ember. What that means is we're going to go through her abilities. We're also going to see how we can acquire this Warframe, and then I'll also give you a basic mod setup that you can use straight out of the gate. The goal of these made simple guides is you can come in knowing nothing about a Warframe, and then you can leave knowing everything that you need to in order to acquire, how to build it, and then how to use it in missions. I wanted to start these made simple guides with Ember. I feel like there's a lot of potential for her, especially in the early game, and she's definitely a great frame to pick up if you like dealing lots of damage. So when it comes to her first ability, you're going to be able to light an area on fire. Her second ability is going to be a radial stun and make your fire do more damage. Third ability, you're going to light a larger area on fire, and then her fourth ability is literally called World on Fire. Acquiring Ember is not going to be too difficult. You're going to want to head to Saturn and then click on the node labeled Tethys. And I like using a frame that has a lot of mobility. I like using Volt especially, so I can run to the boss and then run out when I am done. And we are after three things specifically, that being the neuroptics, the chassis, and the systems, and we get this rewarded to us when we complete the mission. Sargus Ruck is not a very difficult boss to kill either. Don't waste your bullets on him when he's not glowing blue. He's going to open up a spot that glows blue, and then those are the locations that you're going to want to hit him. I like using things that have a lot of single shot damage, but you can really bring whatever you want. Just realize that he's not going to take any damage unless he opens up those blue spots. And those blue spots will just open up throughout the fight. Usually they happen after he does some sort of ability. And a little tip with one of his abilities that mimics that of a Arson Eximus is you can actually do a roll through it to not be affected by the knockdown. So repeating this mission on Saturn is how you're going to get your neuroptics, chassis, and systems blueprints. The only thing left for you to get will be the main blueprint, and you can get that through the market. Modding Ember isn't very difficult. She can benefit from almost any mod that you put on her. Her aura is a V, so I went with a steel charge because that'll give me 18 points as opposed to the typical 14 that you'll get from an aura. The most important stats in my opinion would be duration and efficiency, because that will benefit your 2 and your 4. Your 2, you're going to want to be able to cast that as often as possible, because that will benefit your 1, 3, and 4. And then your 4, you want a bit of duration and efficiency so that it doesn't drain as much energy from you. Range isn't super important. I mainly have it on so my 4 can hit more enemies in a bigger radius, and then strength is just going to buff up all of your damage for every single ability in your kit. I've also included a rush on this build as Ember isn't a very tanky frame, so I can run around and do more damage to enemies while also staying away from their projectiles and not being hit as often. If I were to include a Exilus mod in this build, I would recommend Mobilize, as it will help your mobility and keep you out of harm's way. And here's a little gameplay of me on Pluto going against some infested using the exact build that I just showed you. So just like how I was saying while we were modding Ember, I like keeping my 2 active as much as possible, as that's going to buff all of our other abilities while also offering that stun if I ever need it. I also use my 4 often because that's a very AoE focused ability and damage a lot of enemies around me while I'm just doing normal stuff. This is a good mission for using my 3. I like putting it on an objective or in pathways that enemies are going to be going through, especially in this case because they're infested and fire does a good chunk of damage against infested. And then I rarely use my 1. But I know that it's there for me. Usually instead of using my 1, I'll just pop down my 3 instead. It offers more utility for me, and then it locks down a bigger area. Some basic tips for when you're playing Ember is to realize that energy is definitely your friend. You're going to want to keep some energy so you can activate all of your abilities, at least have your 2 active, so you're not just sitting there a sitting duck and not being able to use any of your abilities. That goes for most frames, but I'd like to say that especially for Ember because she isn't a very tanky frame without her abilities. Another thing to note is that Ember is very good at clearing low level missions, especially exterminates, because she can activate her 4 and her 2 and just walk through a mission and kill most of the enemies without even seeing them. Her damage does seem to fall off in higher level content, and that's mostly because fire isn't a very strong damage type against a lot of the higher level end game units that you're going to be facing. Overall though, Ember is still a very fun frame to play, and someone I definitely recommend you pick up, especially earlier on in the game. She can carry you and your team through the star chart with ease and kill most of the enemies without any problems. I believe that covers everything I wanted to touch upon in this Made Simple for Ember. I'm going to be making more Made Simple guides in the future, just to get everyone informed on everything Warframe and keep these guides fairly short. My goal was to keep this under 10 minutes and I definitely accomplished that. If you've made it this far in the video, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button. Also, you can comment below what kind of Made Simple guides you'd like to see in the future so I can be working on those as soon as possible. Also, if you haven't already, I always have a Warframe giveaway active on my channel. You can go to my channel page and click on the playlist labeled Warframe giveaways, and then at the very top will be the most current giveaway. If you still have questions regarding Ember or anything else Warframe, I'd invite you to click the Discord link in the description. I'm in it every day, and then people in that Discord are very knowledgeable in Warframe especially and can help you out if I'm not there for you. It's a great community and I'd love for you to be a part of it. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Make sure to subscribe for more Made Simples and giveaways in the future, and I will catch you in the next one.